Hello everyone and welcome back to KidsWorld. Are you ready to have some fun in the kitchen today? We're going to learn how to talk about cooking in English. It's going to be super exciting and delicious. So imagine you want to make your favorite cookies. What's the first thing you need? A recipe. A recipe is a list of instructions that tells you how to make something. First, we need to gather all our ingredients. Ingredients are the foods you use to cook, like flour, sugar, eggs, and yummy chocolate chips. Okay, let's get our equipment ready. We need a big mixing bowl. A bowl is what we use to mix everything together. We'll also need a measuring cup to make sure we have the right amount of each ingredient and maybe a whisk to mix it all up. Now, let's look at the recipe. The first step says to preheat the oven. That means we turn the oven on before we start baking so it gets nice and hot. While the oven is heating up, let's start with the ingredients. The recipe says to cream the butter and sugar together. Creaming doesn't mean adding cream. It means to beat the soft butter and sugar until they're light and fluffy. It looks a bit like fluffy clouds. Next, we need to crack an egg. Be gentle. We crack the egg on the side of the bowl and open it up. Then we whisk it into our butter and sugar mixture. Whisking means mixing it very quickly with a whisk. See how it all comes together? Now for the dry ingredients. We need to measure the flour. Let's pour the flour into our measuring cup. The recipe says to add a pinch of salt. A pinch is just a tiny little bit that you can hold between your thumb and finger. We add the flour and salt to our wet mixture. Instead of whisking now, we're going to fold the ingredients together. Folding is a gentle way of mixing. We use a spatula to go down the side of the bowl and gently bring the mixture up and over, like you're folding a blanket. We do this until everything is just combined. We don't want to overmix. What are we forgetting? The best part. Let's stir in the chocolate chips. We just gently mix them in with our spatula. Now our cookie dough is ready. Look at that. Doesn't it look delicious? Next, we need a baking sheet. We'll put some parchment paper on it so our cookies don't stick. Then we scoop the dough onto the sheet. I'm using an ice cream scooper to make perfect little round balls of dough. Now it's time to bake. We carefully open the hot oven and place the baking sheet inside. We'll bake them for about 10 minutes or until they are golden brown. Golden brown is that beautiful light brown color that tells you something is perfectly baked. While our cookies are baking, let's talk about other cooking words. Sometimes you need to chop vegetables. Chopping is cutting things into smaller pieces with a knife. Or you might need to peel a potato, which means taking the skin off. You can also boil water in a pot on the stove. Boiling is when water gets very hot and bubbly. And if you're making a steak, you might pan fry it. That means cooking it in a hot pan with a little bit of oil. You can also grill food, usually outside on a barbecue, which gives it those nice black lines and a smoky flavor. If you're making a soup, you let it simmer. Simmering is when it cooks gently on low heat with just a few tiny bubbles. And what about when you want to warm up leftovers? You can microwave them. Ding, I think our cookies are ready. Let's carefully take them out of the oven. Oh, they smell amazing. We need to let them cool down on a wire rack for a few minutes before we can eat them. If you eat them now, you might burn your tongue. While we wait, let's recap some of our new words. Remember, a recipe gives us the instructions. Ingredients are the food items we use. Equipment includes things like a bowl, whisk, and spatula. We learned some great cooking verbs today, too. We creamed the butter and sugar, whisked the eggs, folded in the flour, and stirred in the chocolate chips. Then we scooped the dough and baked the cookies until they were golden brown. These cookies look perfect. They are soft on the inside and a little crispy on the outside. Let's try one. Delicious. Making food is so much fun, and now you can talk about it in English. For everyone preparing for English speaking tests like IELTS or Duolingo, or just for everyday conversations, here's a quick list of essential vocabulary. For ingredients, you can use words like flour, sugar, oil, herbs, and spices. For equipment, remember words like knife, cutting board, pot, pan, and oven. Key verbs to remember are to chop, to slice, to dice, which are all types of cutting. Also to peel, to grate, to mix, to stir, and to whisk. For cooking methods, use to bake, to roast, to fry, to boil, to steam, and to grill. Finally, when describing food, use adjectives like delicious, tasty, savory for non-sweet food, sweet, crispy, and tender. Practice using these words and you'll sound like a pro in no time. I hope you had a fantastic time cooking with me today. It was so much fun learning these new English words together. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our kitchen adventure, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to KidsWorld for more fun learning videos. See you next time. Bye.